Hey, we're back with another episode of these crazy fools that just keep eating meat and can't stop talking about it. Today, we're going to talk more about our favorite subject. Yeah, I think it's been almost a year or more since we did this, but we're talking about libido on carnivore, the insatiable appetite that comes with eating all that meat. That's today's topic. And naturally, none of the girls showed up for this one, but we think we can handle it. We got things covered. So, anyways, anybody here having trouble with their libido? Anybody need the little blue pill or anything like that to help them out?
How's your cock and
Yeah.
balls, Tom?
It's just swinging, just great. Thank you.
Swinging just great.
Now, we would have let a woman go first, but there weren't any.
Yeah, none of them womaned up.
No, and perhaps they don't want to be on film discussing such things. We understand.
Or maybe they've seen how we men behave when we do discuss such things in the past.
Yeah, Emily did polls last time, and there was plenty of women that chimed in and talked about how their increased libido was fantastic. So we have some evidence somewhere. We just didn't bring it.
Just anecdotes again, is it, Tom?
It's just anecdotes.
Yeah, I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah. So Ray, any complaints?
No complaints on that department. The only complaint that I have is that my wife is having her, I guess what you'd call perimenopause or menopausal stage. So yeah. So her libido needs a lot of work. So.
Yeah, well, we hear about that a lot too, because in a lot of relationships, you get one person that's on carnivore and the other spouse or significant other isn't. And then you have a large inequity in the libido. So, that can cause some stress on the relationship. So, yeah, that is a common complaint. And one of the guys that was on, I think it was World Carnivore Tribe, he was actually said, I think it was the guy said it, but maybe his wife said, yeah, my husband just told me to go out and have an affair because he couldn't handle it anymore. So,
Well, on that point, let me let you know about something that carnivore seems to do with me. So before carnivore, I used to be like this super porn addict, okay? My wife would walk in on me and stuff. She always hated that. But now, I don't know. It's like it's totally controllable now. I mean, it's something that I have to actually literally turn on in my head and say, oh, let me check it out. And sometimes I'm too lazy to even do that. But it's like it's not this pull. You know what I mean? It's not like this. I have to be a slave to it.
Well, I mean, back then that was your exercise routine, right? Right.
There you go. Well, that's all I could do. That was it. So, now it's like next to nothing. Things are keeping me very busy with work and, coaching, videos, whatever, doing all of that. And, this stuff doesn't wear me out. It's crazy.
You don't want to have to make sure you keep two hands on the keyboard just in case you get a coaching call, So that's probably good message to send out there.
Yeah. It would be kind of bad to be that addicted, right? Still. But anyways, I like that aspect of it. And it really, I don't know if you guys heard about this Chinese philosophy about keeping your chi in,
Sure.
So I've almost gotten to the point I was like, what would it be like for like a month without, fapping or whatever the word is.
It's been a popular theme lately, right? The no
right.
fap thing.
No fapping. Yeah. So I was like thinking to myself, could I? And so, I've been playing with that in my head, but, I'm
not playing with it so much.
Not playing with it.
Playing with it just in your head.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Just in my head. But anyways, so it's giving me a different appreciation, almost like a Zen-like feel. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Interesting. So Bart, what do you typically eat in a day, and what's the libido been like? I mean, I know you've complained that your libido's always been off the charts.
Yeah.
Do you notice an increase when you're strict carnivore?
I don't think I noticed an increase in libido on strict carnivore. It was already topped out. I think there was there's nowhere further to go. There never has been. I've never backed off an inch in my own head anyway. Of course, what it's the difference between what we were talking about before is the libido might be fine, but are we getting enough sex? That's a different fucking question. It's a completely different question.
Sure.
So we can all share some empathy with that situation. Obviously, I probably should be starting to think about slowing down. I'm going into my 50th year this year.
Yeah,
I beat you there.
But I'm not. The force is still strong, as far as I'm concerned. I'm good to go. Yeah, just call me Captain Fappy though. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were starting to lose it just a little bit there, Ray, with the salt when you said, look, don't even eat salt, just meat, no salt even. I go, oh, come on, Ray, now you're getting crazy. And now you're saying don't play with your cock either.
I know, that's just nuts, right?
Goodness me. I think I might have to have a word with the field marshal about
that's right. Going at a whole other level there,
Yeah. And of course, Yellow Ted here is always to keep us in line. No, I can't repeat that either. Goodness. But I get all my ideas that way.
You wash the stains out of him, right?
Well, he's had a hard life, I have to say. He's been my constant
maybe we ought to have a rule that we can't have Justin and Bart on at the same time, because they're just going to escalate.
Somebody bring this man some gym equipment to rub up against.
Right.
Well, I'm so disappointed that my gym has been closed since the pandemic. So I've been without my release there at the gym. It's been quite disappointing. I mean, at home equipment, it's okay. It's like having a cow there at the farm that you can milk. But everyone wants to go out and have some strange, right? A little bit of strange at a restaurant. You know what I mean?
You've just explained male psychology 101. Very good. Well done. Excellent. Yes. Did you hear that, everybody? That's how it is.
The grass is always greener under a different cow.
Yeah, your man too. Yeah. Good.
Yes. So what are you typically eating in a day, Bart?
Okay, it's been since January the 1st. I've been on this journey of discovering 100% carnivore for any period of time ever, first time ever. So I did January doing that and was 100% adherent to it, which was great. And then I congratulated myself with a cheat day, which was fine, but nothing you'd write home about. It was nice. Paid for it, of course, in the usual fashion, as you do when you go off the rails with the diet. And then this week has been a slide into debauchery.
Slide into debauchery.
Oh, mate. It's been some combustible materials arrived that were hitherto not present, and that precipitated the combusting of such articles in a combustive sort of a manner, really, leading to the over desire for things that should not be being comested a bit. So it's been an interesting week. And then, of course, in that situation, one goes, well, fuck it, I might as well drink too.
Oh, no.
So it's been good, but not good physiologically, not good physically. So
too much fun, huh, Bart?
Well, it's fun. I don't know, even 5 minutes maybe while you're doing it, but then it's no good thereafter for several days, and it's like, is this worth that? Nah. Because swollen joints and water retention and crazy shit that because the body's got used to not having to do that stuff anymore. So I guess it's just a reminder that the body says to you, you know, we discussed this and we decided, remember that, blah, 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 blah. So that's this week in a nutshell. And Pim's birthday this weekend, effectively. The actual date is tomorrow here in New Zealand, which is the day after there.
Happy birthday, Pim.
Yeah,
Happy
so
birthday.
I'll pass it on. So she every year makes herself this meringue-based cake with some kind of sugary, caramelly goodness and cream and fuck knows what. And it's
Meringue
just
cake, huh?
fuck me.
This does not exist in on my continent. Meringue
No,
cake.
well there you go. It's a thing. Apparently it's a Swedish thing.
I need to ask you, why do you like that so much? That sounds actually really bad. It sounds like it would kill my stomach after I ate that.
Yeah, it's not great on the stomach. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's okay on the stomach. It's got puffed rice in it as well. This thing.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. So it's incredible. Yeah.
Well, that should be quite a trip down the carb hole.
Yeah, it would be.
But anyway, I'm here. I have survived the tail.
Maybe instead you can just do it American Pie style with the cake. Just a suggestion.
Maybe.
Let's hope not.
Talk about libido, why not, right?
Yeah, let's switch tracks. So, Ray, what do you eat a typical day right now? And do you notice any particular affects your libido as far as diet?
Ribeye and like today I had a rib. Wait, did I eat today? Oh yeah, I did eat today. Ribeye and cheese on the side. That was it. Actually, I had 2 ribeyes, but anyways, that's beside the point.
So
sorry, I'm boring.
Do you notice that any particular close tie between what you eat and your libido?
No.
It's just when you shifted to carnivore, though, was there a difference there?
I've never tried oysters, though. Oh yeah, as you guys know, I mean, I lost my morning wood. I mean, that's pretty bad when you can't get it up for like 2 weeks or so. Just in the mornings. And not only that, when you want to function, it's all kind of riding in the wind, kind of flappy. That's kind of embarrassing. Kind of feels like you lose your manhood at that point. You're like, fuck. This is not something you even want to talk about. You know what I mean? Actually, I didn't mention it to anybody. Now I can because I don't have that problem, so I don't mind mentioning it. So now the only problem is, my wife's going through hers. So anyways, that's a different story.
Justin,
yeah.
Same question. Do you know anything? How was the transition? And then do you notice anything currently when you change your diet, if there's any shift in libido?
I think when I'm eating a lot or adding in like a bunch of eggs, like it's even more so. If I'm doing the strict, like just beef or just ribeyes or whatever, steaks, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, maybe the extra nutrients or something. Again, it's kind of hard to piece together. Still coming off an edible trip last night, so that's a thing. And I did have my edible actually carnivore, so I had cacao or I had cannabis butter made into jerky, carnivore jerky. And then I made a steak with more cannabis butter on it. So kept it carnivore and tripped balls. So I think that's a total win. But also had the opportunity to co-host. I should probably not co-host a MeatRx meeting this morning or this afternoon with a good friend Amanda on being single, and there's a bit of a theme there, and the theme of, and maybe you guys can relate, and this is a lot of women talking, but I think some of the men related as well, but less apt to talk about it, is that when you don't feel well, when you're on a bunch of medication, you lose your libido. Like you do not want to be with another person in that way, another way, intimately, what have you, because you're worried about like a flare up, or you can't perform because of medications, or and you know, a lot of the people in that meeting, they were like, it's back. Like that's, you know, once your body heals, when you do heal, that heals, you know. And a lot of people, I think, believe that they're kind of stuck in this low gear, you know, but then you can go carnivore and you can feel, you know, and some of these ladies were a little older, you know, late 30s, early 40s, things like that. And I think for a lot of people, similar to Ray, they just consign themselves to, this is it. You know, that was a young man's game. That was the 20s, you know, and then as they grow old, they just think, oh, it's just that part of my life is over, you know. And maybe that's why there is a lot of sexless marriage, you know, in the psychology field. You do hear a lot about sexless marriages or sexless long-term relationships, and maybe it's just because, and then you have that weight gain, right? Usually couples get together, they start eating, they're not eating the right things, you know, and they both gain a little bit of weight, and
They're
then
eating meringue cakes.
Yeah. Swedish ones.
Swedish meringue cakes. Yeah.
And then they start taking medications for the issues of the food, and then next thing you know, they're in a sexless marriage, you know. So maybe that's the key, you know. I understand that there's more than just that as a reason why a person would be in that kind of relationship, but something to look at, I think, because from what I heard today, you know, the libido, as we all hear here as well, the libido is back when the meat is flowing down, you know. So I think that's really something, and how, you know, carnivore can really bring couples, relationships, people, the world together, you know. I think that's really cool.
I want to add, so I have a client, you know, he had the same problem I did, and he shared it to me because, you know, he's seen my videos. And after the third week of carnivore, he said out of 1 out of 10, he scaled it out. So typically he was like at a 2, you know, and then after 3 weeks, it was at an 8. He was actually surprised how well he could perform. This is only 3 weeks. So it's not just in my head. I mean, to me, that's the best.
How old did you say he was?
42.
42.
Yeah.
It's good because, you know, I don't know if it's just advertising or whatever, but they frequently say that almost 50% of men over 40 complain about, you know, poor sex drive or lack of erection or whatever, you know. And that's, you know, there's a lot of this probably marketing for all these drugs that they sell for, you know, performance.
Viagra and all that.
Yeah, the Viagras and everything. So, but, you know, you think, man, 40, something like 50% of men over 40 have trouble, some sort of erectile dysfunction. That's pretty high. So I'm being probably the most senior carnivore here just by age of being on this planet. So I have to say I don't have any problem, and it's definitely I had a high libido before, but on carnivore it's tremendous. And then when this COVID thing started, I was like, well, we know one of the things they demonstrated in the lab is that if you have plenty of zinc in your system, it's much harder for the virus to replicate its RNA inside your cells. So I was like, well, I'll just start eating oysters. So that's kind of pushed things beyond the pale, shall we say, because I probably eat, you know, a pint of oysters a couple times a week now. I always liked them. Now I just had an excuse to spend a little extra money on them. So, and it's, of course, Joe, I was like, Joe, what's the best way to cook the oysters? Like, oh, cook them in butter, mate. You know, so I've been eating
That
oysters.
was the worst
butter.
Australian accent I've ever heard. That was appalling.
So yeah, and I would look forward to it. But man, I'll tell you, it keeps you at 10 all the time when all you do is eat meat and you're eating oysters all the time and you're working out. Something about it. Of course, going to the gym and seeing a bunch of girls in spandex doesn't hurt either. So, just saying.
At least it's not the gym equipment that gets you.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, if it's not the equipment, it's the other participants. Mm-mm. So, anyways, I'm 50, by the way, for the record. So, I'm well over 40.
Yeah, me too.
I'm over 40 and then another 25%. So, yeah. So, yeah.
When are you turning 50, Bart?
I'm not 50 until next year. I'm
next
40.
year, got it.
I'm 49 next month.
Okay, I'm 49 in June, so yeah.
And then
So we're
next year
really
I'll be 49A.
There you go. Love it.
Top class.
Right. So, anyways, you guys, this has been a good video. You guys got anything else you want to add, or should we wrap her up?
I believe that was Plato that wrote that, I guess when he turned like 75, he apparently wrote that he felt he had been relieved of a demon, and he was speaking about his libido. So it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Somebody needs to come and exorcise me, I think, Justin. I am pure evil. I am beyond help, I think.
I do agree with that actually concept. I did feel like I was a prisoner of my libido before, actually. I couldn't have sex, but I wanted it all the time. So talk about a prison here,
Well, you got to understand, for Plato at that age, he was a homosexual man. Plato was.
Right.
And so usually, all the fun and games, once he started getting old, nobody wanted it. And so that's why it's believed that he wrote later in his years a more on platonic love rather than romantic love.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
But I think, when you were talking about the porn addiction and stuff, I think it's just that being carnivore, you want to do things in the real world. You're tired of, you're throwing away childish things, and you have the energy to work out. And so, the high from working out is almost as good as, sex, or you can sometimes push it. Okay, Ray's giving me that look. Well, it's better.
I'm not sure what sex you're having, but okay.
It's better than playing pocket pool, right? So you're getting the same release of dopamine and different chemicals and things like that through exercise, and you're looking good, and you have an overall better self-esteem, right? I mean, you're not walking around telling people how many times a day you're playing pocket pool, but you will.
I get a lot of sun, is what I do. That's my thing I do instead. Plenty of time to lie around in the sun.
But your workouts, you're proud of, right? So you'll tell people you did this day, and so I think that carries more with it. So you're more encouraged socially to move on that path of working out and the diet and everything.
Sure, but it's not enough to motivate the actual exercise sometimes, boys, I have to admit. It's the same thing with the actual sex. I mean, you're talking about a lot of the sexless marriages and the not so much sex going on and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't really surprise me either, because, when you get into a relationship, you get sick of each other's shit, frankly, right. Within, a set period of time. There's no huge excitement in it. Actually, to connect with another human being, to pander to their needs, to connect well with them, to be of good service, it's an effort.
You're saying relationships
well
are
said.
work?
Well
I'm
said.
saying it. I'm not saying that that's how all relationships are, or that's how they need to be, Thomas. I'm just saying that's probably where people end up. And that's not that they actually dislike each other to any deep degree. It's just more about, oh, really? Do I have to jump these fucking hoops? Or, okay.
Right. Yeah, it's not all about hormones. A certain amount of it is about the psychology.
But of course, you're genetically, historically, sociologically, and in every other way programmed to clap eyes on the first hot-looking young thing you can see and go and not want to consider anything but just banging it stupid for a week on end.
Right.
And
pass on those genes.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I think the whole carnivore libido thing is something we need to sort of acknowledge that, yes, there are some that have quite significant increases in their libido as a result or coincident with taking on a carnivore diet, but that's not always a service necessarily.
Good thing.
Ray is going to be the saint, and he's going to go no fat. I'm going to rely very much more on a different.
I didn't say that yet. Hold on.
Wait, do we want to rewind? We heard you.
Don't be challenging me into no fat yet.
Hey, you're telling me I need to eat nothing but meat? As I should say to you, you need to leave your cock alone, Ray. Hey?
You're on. You do a ribeye challenge. I'll do a no fat one for a month.
Thomas has got his riding crop. Let's have a look at it, Tom. It's a bit chewed on the end by the looks.
It's a little worn.
A bit worn, yes.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
It's not exactly new. It's been around the block a few times. So this one hurts a little more.
What would do too? Yes. All right.
Well,
good. So shame none of the girls fronted up for.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little something in there because I would say that everybody's who's been in a relationship understands the challenges of being in a relationship, and I suppose if both members of that relationship, both parties are carnivore, they reach that sort of carnivore zen, people's anxiety gets better, their depression gets better, their overall moods gets better. That in itself could be really restorative to a relationship. Unfortunately, we do see a lot of times people are the only person in their household, much less in a relationship, that are carnivore. So
also, Thomas, I don't know if I mentioned during the recording, I think I spoke about it before we started recording, but the other thing on carnivore that I forgot to say when I was doing the rundown with Ray a couple of weeks ago at the end of the month, my blood pressure has dropped 20 points on both numbers.
Oh, that's right. Excellent.
And that was on 85 to 90% carnivore. So there really wasn't much going in there that should have had that kind of effect. I'm almost prepared to start looking at coffee as the likely culprit for the chronically elevated blood pressure, especially considering the amount of the stuff I was getting through.
You mean that bathtub you used to drink out of?
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
So
I made it.
And
Ray's
one of the things
cutting that coffee too. So
not that I've ever had a problem with this ever, Thomas, but one of the things that can cause erectile dysfunction is high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was chronically high blood pressure too. Interesting.
Yeah, it can affect your systemic vasculature in such a way as that you are almost physiologically blockaded from having an erection.
Wow.
Well, don't most of these erectile dysfunction medications actually work on blood flow? I mean, that's the basis of the chemistry there, right? So,
exactly, yeah. It gets things flowing again. Because no flow, no go, bro.
We should put that on a t-shirt. No flow, no go, bro.
Yep, that's it. So there you go. Eat your meat. Drink your salt water. What's that other thing that we shouldn't do, Thomas?
Don't fall down the carb.
Don't fall down.
Don't fall down the carb hole.
Come on now.
God.
Bart
set it up perfectly.
Into the bedroom.
But what, Justin?
But do bring toys into the bedroom.
All right.
And use lube.
On that note, we should end it before we get banned.